Welcome to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Community Report 93 for Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. This was published on the 27th of February 2024. It's a nice, short, straight to the point community report talking about aeroplanes and some changes to do with workers. So we might as well jump straight in and get going. It says, greetings, dear comrades of the Soviet Republic and our fans of the game worldwide. For those of you near airports, the sight of planes ascending and descending is a common spectacle, each flight adding vibrancy to the airport's life. Similarly, the hustle and bustle of people frequenting shops and other facilities injects a sense of liveliness in our game world. This update is all about enhancing the sense of life and activity within the game. So moving down, it says, let's start with the skies. We're introducing a new Western airplane courtesy of our talent graphic designer Carol. This model is set to become a key player in your passenger air transport operations, bringing a new dynamic to your aerial routes. So what we got here now is a series of aircraft, and it looks pretty cool actually. I'll be completely upfront. I know nothing about aircraft types, so I can't say what this is actually modelled on. But I like the liveries, and it looks pretty cool actually. I like it. And we got one here of aircraft taking off. You can see with other aircraft taxiing in the background. Now, I'll be completely upfront. I'm not the greatest fan of aircraft. I very rarely ever use them, mainly because by the time I get to using aircraft, the series is normally coming to an end. But in my upcoming series, I would certainly like to do a bit more work with aircraft. In fact, there would be a pressure on actually moving towards aircraft. I like the way that aircraft's actually banking. Actually, I think this will be the thumbnail. And then we've got another livery. So obviously the aircraft comes in all sorts of different liveries. Actually, that's quite impressive as well. Maybe that would be the thumbnail. Bit of indecision there. So moving down to the next sections, but there is more on the horizon. We are injecting even more in life into your republic with the introduction of queues at shops and other facilities. If you thought our virtual citizens milling around was lively before, but wait until you see them lining up for goods and services reminiscent of the iconic Soviet era queues. This is not just about aesthetics, it's about adding a layer of realism and historical context. Modders will rejoice to know that queues can be configured within the building settings. Also, they form organically at entry points inherent to paths designed for indoor movement. So let's just have a quick look at this. I'm quite intrigued about the queues. Now, I'm going to assume this is predominantly aesthetic, that it won't affect the actual interior of the buildings, because if any of you are familiar with the game, you'll be aware that what happens is that when you've got a shop that's overloaded, there are people waiting to be served. Now, I do wonder whether that will be reflected in the length of the queue, and that would be a very good visual aid for any building providing services to indicate that there's a potential problem, but that's to be seen. So moving on, it says the innovations do not stop there. Fields will no longer be barren as workers toil away, visible as they cultivate the land. The visual enhancement brings the agricultural efforts of your citizens to life. Now, of course, this is a little bit of an odd mechanic because the vast majority of players use farms which have got tractors. I think this is going to be a rare event in such times when you actually get workers traveling to the field to work in the field. Be worth checking out though. And the next one, now this looks very much like they might actually be I think what they're doing here is actually cultivating the field, aren't they, with their pickaxes. It'd be interesting to see whether there's an animation for spreading fertilizer as well. So moving down again, it says construction sites too are getting an upgrade. While we are still refining the models and variations, we can anticipate seeing workers actively engaging in the build process, adding new dimension of realism to your infrastructure and projects. This is interesting. Let's have a look. Yeah, they've all got the same uniform on though at the moment, but I'm assuming that's because it's still a work in progress. So you've got workers here working on the construction site. Again, I do wonder whether this will reflect the number of workers working on the site. If it does, it could be quite a useful visual check to kind of indicate whether a construction site is busy or not, or whether it's even got any workers. I must admit, this is my favourite one. I like the idea of the guys working up on the scaffolding. Yeah, even if they all still do or have the uniform, but the idea of them working around the scaffolding is quite funny. And then I think what we got here is what you'd most likely see with the yellow outliner off from the construction menu. It does look in as though possible that there is the number of workers is a reflection of the number of workers actually currently in the building. I'm not going to count them, but I doubt if it would reflect them accurately anyway. And then the next one down here, this is quite interesting as well, because this is actually showing workers working on a road. Now, there is a mod that you can use workers as a form of excavator. So again, it's an interesting concept that could be worth checking out. I must admit, I like this road junction as well, with the signs over the top indicating where they're going. I think that could certainly be worth checking out as well. I know it's got nothing to do with the report, but I quite like that idea. Then moving down to the next paragraph, a groundbreaking development for road construction enthusiasts is the way. Following the introduction of tunnel boring machines for railroads, we have heard at your calls for a similar solution for roads. While we're not introducing a new vehicle this time, we are offering an innovative alternative. Road excavators will now participate in tunnel construction, expediting the process significantly. Just ensure that you have workers and an excavator on site to watch as your tunnels take shape. Now that is interesting, because road tunnels take a very long time to build. Having a road crane adding to that will make quite a big difference, actually. Certainly worth checking out, even if it's, yeah, I like that. As for another type of vehicle, the only thing I can think of is some kind of tunnel boring machine, similar to the rail boring machine. But then that poses the question of how would you get it to the site? Because in real life, these boring machines are assembled in the site itself. So moving down to the last little section, it says, we are thrilled to share these updates with you. It is refreshing to bring new ideas to the table, enhancing the game's overall feel, even in the later stages of development. There's everything that is everything for this report. Cherish life, enjoy gaming, keep your eye out for the next update. So that's it, guys. Short, sweet, straight to the point. As I say, functionally, not anything new, but I do certainly like the idea of more aircraft. But this fascinates me. The fact you're going to get workers there, especially from the potential that the numbers of workers could be a visual clue to what's going on. So that means that you could look across your city, especially queues, and possibly get a gauge whether something is going wrong. So this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. Any comments, opinions, feel free to chuck it in the video description and we'll have a chat about it. But until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.